Hi, this is my third English diary, and today I was a little bit, um, you know, comfortable comparing to the other days before, and and the fun, and I got up on 11. Actually, I pretended to get up earlier, but I don't know why. I had a clock on 7:30, but after I muted it, I just sleep until 11 when I had the meeting. The meeting I mentioned in my last video. Yes, I mistaken the time yesterday, and finally today is the meeting day, but this time I missed the meeting for about 10 minutes, and I want to use the heterogeneity heterogeneity this word as the new word for today's video. And so I think the heterogeneity is very normal in our life, not just in the research, because every individual is different from another one, and that reminds me a discussion with one of my friend. He studies in psychology, and psychology is a type of discipline which is fond of using in using some intervention to test the action they made, but it's really different. It's quite different from the education area. We don't use this kind of technique, research technique in our area. So last time he discussed the control group and the intervention actions technique, research technique, something like that. And he made some suggestions on my research, and I told him I don't have this kind of control group or intervention phases. He just said, "Oh, it's not very convincing." And at that time, back to that time, it's in last semester. Back to that time, I was a little bit, not confused. It's just I started to question our research method. This without which is without the the intervention and control measurement. But right now I think it's fine, because to be honest, if you um, if you critically examine the objections, the subjects of in your research, even though you controlled it, even though you made some intervention, but we still can't regard each participant as the similar one. So I think heterogeneity is a important factor to consider in our research. And today I talked with one of my colleagues, and he is a guy who has funding with his study, and we talked about our research. I think he is good at quantitative analysis. So he can use our language, our software to deal with the big data, the large data, massive data. So but it's quite different from mine. And he asked about my hometown, and he searched it on the Google map to find out, and finally he found there was one huge bridge between Shanghai and Zhejiang if you drive. And he just mentioned that there will be a bridge between Scotland and Ireland, but there are a lot of bombs in the sea. I think it's on the seabed. I'm not very sure, but he said those bombs was thrown into the sea when it was a Second World War, and he said the British government just found those bombs are useless at that time, and they didn't find any way to destroy them, so they just throw them into the sea. The area just between Scotland and North Ireland. So he said because of that, they couldn't build the bridge between two continents. So I think it's a shame that they can't have a bridge. And meanwhile, I was thinking about, even though even though there is no bomb, I think it will take quite a long time for them to build this bridge. And he also talked about talked about the flights from Edinburgh to his hometown, which only cost him like £10. so it's very cheap, and you know, it's quite expensive if I want to go back to my country. And yes, and we also talked about his accommodation, and finally found there was one there is one very famous hot pot restaurant just near his accommodation, and he was very eager to go to there and have a try. But he can't use the chopsticks, so I just use the pans to make a sample for him. And I think he is very smart. He can get the you know, the key technical thing for holding the chopsticks. So I think after you know, if he practice a lot, not a lot, just practice a little bit, he can handle the chopsticks. So this is my third diary. I think I speak too slow, and today when I talk with him, I found I can't express myself very well, which is very annoying. And I hope I can make progress later. Yeah, it's about midnight, so just that.